Ever wonder why two people can face the same exact setback? One will level up and the other gives up?
I'm serious about this stuff.
What if the difference between failure and evolution isn't talent? It's how you think about talent.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
Here's the crazy part. Success doesn't belong to the smartest people in the room. It belongs to the ones who think that they can grow. Because most people spend their lives trying to prove that they're capable rather than becoming capable.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
And that belief alone determines who keeps rising and who stays stuck. And today, I'll show you how to shift that belief so that you never fear failure again. Let's be real. You've felt that feeling before. It's that pit in your stomach when you're at work and you make a mistake and you tell yourself,
I just don't know if I'm cut out for this.
You try hard, but it doesn't seem to matter. You see other people move forward while you feel stuck. And start wondering, do they just have something that I don't? I've been there. Back when I was chasing results, every failure felt personal. I thought mistakes meant that I wasn't good enough. That mindset kept me locked in place for years until I learned something that flipped my world upside down. You can literally change the way your brain reacts to challenges. You can train your mind to evolve, and that's exactly what we're diving into today. Chapter 1, 2 ways to see ability. Let's start with the big idea. There's 2 meanings to ability. First is a fixed ability, something you either have or you don't. That's the voice that says,
You're smart.
Or,
You're not. You're talented.
Or,
You're not.
People who see talent this way live in constant proof mode. Every challenge is a test. Every failure is a threat.
Son of a bitch, Paul, why didn't you just go home? That's your home! Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
Then there's the second meaning, the one that changes everything. It's the belief that ability can be developed through learning, effort, and persistence. This is the growth mindset. It doesn't mean pretending that mistakes don't hurt. It means seeing them as a part of getting better. When you look in the mirror, ask yourself,
do I see someone who needs to prove themselves or someone who can improve themselves?
That's the difference between staying stuck and becoming unstoppable. Chapter 2, the learners versus the non-learners. Political theorist Benjamin Barber once said, I don't divide the world into the weak and the strong, or the successes and the failures. I divide the world into the learners and the non-learners. That quote hits hard because learners fall, they struggle, but they don't quit. Non-learners, they protect their ego at all costs. They'd rather look smart than get smart. So let me ask you something. When life hits hard, do you protect your ego or do you protect your growth? Because you can't do both. Later, I'll share a story about a man who made one of the biggest mistakes in sports history and how he turned it around into his biggest comeback. But first, let's talk about what happens in your head when you face a setback. Chapter 3, the battle inside your mind. Picture this. You fail an exam. You lose a client. Instantly, your brain starts writing a story.
Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'll never get there.
That's the fixed mindset taking the mic. But here's what the growth mindset says instead.
This is feedback. What can I learn from it?
2 completely different inner worlds. Same event, opposite outcomes. One keeps you stuck. The other moves you forward. And here's what's wild. The more you choose growth, the stronger that mindset becomes. Neuroscience shows that your brain actually rewires itself to learn faster. So if you ever thought to yourself,
that's just who I am,
you're wrong. You can literally change who you are becoming. In a minute, I'll show you how one NFL player did exactly that after one of the most humiliating moments of his life. Chapter 4, the Jim Marshall story. This represents one of the most unforgettable moments in NFL history. October 25th, 1964. Minnesota Vikings versus the San Francisco 49ers. Vikings defensive end recovers a fumble and runs 66 yards into the end zone. The problem? It was the wrong end zone. He scored a safety for the other team. Imagine that feeling. A national audience watching. Your teammates watching. That could have ended his career. But here's what he said years later. If you make a mistake, you've got to make it right. I realized I had a choice. I could sit in my own misery, or I could do something about it. Later in that same game, Jim Wrong Way Marshall forced a fumble, and his team recovered, and it sealed the Vikings' victory. That's the growth mindset in action. He didn't deny his mistake, he owned it. Because he owned his mistake, he kept growing, eventually becoming one of the most respected players in the league. Now think about your own life. What mistake are you still carrying? What wrong way run are you still replaying in your head? You can't undo it, but you can redeem it. And that begins when you stop asking,
"What will people think?"
and start asking,
What can I learn?
Chapter 5, John Wooden's Truth. Legendary basketball coach John Wooden once said, "You aren't a failure until you start to blame." What he meant was this: you can still be in the process of learning from your mistakes until you deny them. The moment you start blaming others, luck, circumstances, that's when you stop growing. Because blame shifts your focus from learning to protecting. And protection is the enemy of progress. This is my reminder. Write it down, reflect, and learn. Because growth doesn't come from the applause, it comes from the adjustments. If this is connecting with you, drop a comment below. When was the time that you turned a mistake into growth? And don't forget to subscribe so that you won't miss the next episode, where we'll dive into how mindsets are formed. It means more than you know, and it helps this message reach someone who needs it. Chapter 6, Valuing the Process. Here's one of the most powerful truths from Carol Dweck's research. People with a growth mindset value what they're doing regardless of the outcome. They don't need validation to keep going, because the act of learning itself is the reward. So if you're chasing approval, stop. If you're scared of looking stupid, stop. Because the moment you fall in love with improving, success becomes inevitable. Here's what most people never realize. Growth doesn't feel like winning. It feels like struggling well. The ones who grow the most are the ones who are willing to look foolish for a little while. In a second, I'm going to give you a challenge that's going to change the way that you see your potential forever. Chapter 7, the challenge. Here's the challenge. Is there something that you always wanted to do, but were afraid you weren't good at? Make a plan to do it. Sign up for the class. Start that side hustle. Pick up that guitar. Whatever it is, start. Because that fear of not being good enough is the exact wall that's preventing you from even getting started. And when you start moving toward what scares you, you stop living scared and start moving toward your own evolution. Don't wait for permission. You're already capable. You just haven't seen it yet. Chapter 8, the plan. Here's how you can start rewiring your mindset starting today. Catch your fixed thoughts. Instead of saying, "I can't," add "yet." Reframe failure. Instead of saying, "I failed," say, "I learned." And track your growth. Use a notebook or a journal, or even use your phone to track how you're growing each day. That's it. Simple, but powerful. Because mindset isn't changed by knowing, it's changed by doing. So today, you learned the two meanings of ability: fixed and changeable. Why the learners always win. How mistakes can become your greatest teachers. And why valuing the process matters more than the outcome. Remember, your mindset shapes your destiny. My name is Stephen Kofer. Thanks for stopping by. This channel is for anyone ready to take ownership of their future. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just need the willingness to start. And I'm here to walk with you every step of the way. And next time, we'll explore where mindsets come from and how to reshape yours for good. Watch the next episode on building success here.